Good morning, NIKKE's commanders and citizens of the Ark. I'm Commander Midwest, and welcome to the 9th edition of This Week in NIKKE. We have a very short segment this week with a story, with it being the hard mode ending to Sin Editor. But not to worry, the weekly activities more than make up for it, especially in the later part of the week. So get comfortable, and let's start off with the ending to Sin Editor. Following the events of the main part of Sin Editor, it turns out that since the beginning, the numbers have been fabricated, even yours, making it a miracle that the Ark has been able to survive this long. This fact would make any commander uneasy, even yourself, and so you head to Ingrid's office with your newly dug up findings. Despite the weight of your findings, she's not surprised in the slightest, as you meeting up with Label all but guaranteed this outcome. And you ask her if she's aware of the state of the Ark's dwindling resources as the head of logistics, and unfortunately it's worse than it seems. From the onset, humanity has been relying heavily on the surplus brought in during the initial closing of the Ark, but with the population continuing to consume and the failure of commanders and squads to bring in the desired resources from the surface, the unfortunate truth is that the Ark is running out of time. Not exactly the lightest subject matter, and I'm sure this will have a huge part in the main story going forward, given the happenings on the surface in recent chapters, but that's a story for another time. And today is about what has been happening inside the Ark, not on the surface. So let's start off with Wednesday the 21st. Starting off the week with a giveaway, until January 27th, 10 randomly selected commanders who follow the instructions by subscribing to the official YouTube channel, liking the Sin Editor event video, and taking a picture as proof and sharing it on X will win a mystery NIKKE merch set. And following through with the last week of the Sin Editor event, Requisitions also made available the official Sin Editor animated wallpaper in its Google Drive for all commanders to use. On Thursday the 22nd, the central government sent out one last message, a warning for all those who publish their creations on Pixiv that the illustration collaboration contest is coming to an end on the 1st of February. The next day, on the 23rd, a new warning from the Ark also was sent out to all unions. Powerful raptures will be invading soon with the release of the enemy list of the next union raid. Set to begin on January 30th, unions will go up against Latance, Fingers, Gravedigger, Rebuild Stout, and a very old enemy in Blacksmith until the 5th of February. So make sure to get your battle attempts in for the sake of humanity's future. An easier topic, a new comic featuring Laplace and Guillotine putting their powers to the test, to the chagrin of those in the Ark, also released today. And to cap out the night of the 23rd, a special hand-drawn image showing off a pink-haired maid teased the release of Made For You's newest member, set to come soon, was also released. Commanders set their guesses right away with familiar pink-haired NIKKEs like Kiri and Dorothy to the NPC Velvet from the last Coin Rush event. But those commanders wouldn't be waiting for long, as on the 24th, on top of the start of the newest Full Burst Day, and the release of the Sin Editor theme, the big reveal came to fruition when Velvet, the former leader of the secretive squad Shade, and last seen during the coordinated fiasco at the last Golden Coin competition at Coin Rush, ditches the bunny suit for the time being in exchange for a career change as the newest member of Made For You, coming soon. For those of you looking for a bit more information on Velvet, we will refrain from the full breakdown until the next video once she has been released. The full kit and motion profile released on the 25th on top of a fresh set of dev notes. For the full dev notes, please see the official X page for the full 6-page release, but we will try and hit on all the points here as well. Starting off page 1, the goal of the dev notes is to give a rough breakdown for the full year rather than a shorter exact period, which understandably means that the first page was dedicated to a simple release schedule of both main and side content updates. As it is written, February, April, August, and October will all feature main story updates, while April and October will also feature smaller additions with side stories as well. Some hints from the directors say that February will specifically act as a focal point where many storylines so far will come together, setting the path forward for the story as a whole. On page 2, some story moments of note to look out for are the backgrounds of the CEOs and Oswald's history, among others, as well as building up the 4th anniversary later this year. Shifting over to the battle content, the focus of the year will be a stable experience as well as introducing new battles to the Solo Raid Museum in February and July, with February's inclusion featuring Altacen, Modernia, and Stormbringer. Additionally, Challenge mode will be made replayable rather than defaulting to no limit mode. Some more raid content. The current EX raid plans will be reworked to be more challenging and reintroduced as an annual piece of content to end the year, replacing the year-end solo raid, with specific rules and mechanics to be revealed at a later date. On page 4, a lot of people, myself included, are curious to see what will be changing from the beta for the surface content from last year. But it looks like we'll have to wait a bit longer, as while the improvements have been charted and are planned as to what will eventually look like, the amount based on the feedback would be too much to rush out, and so work on this has been given more time to bake, with new content being brought out in its place to act as a buffer. This buffer will include specifically additions which will focus on expanding world building and character addition, which many commanders believe to be the 3D animations tested out in the Chinese server as being the focal point. However, this is not confirmed in the notes, with more details being released occasionally throughout 2026 and 27. In the meantime, the currency originally meant for surface content will be distributed through other means in its stead for the time being. Page 5 was fully dedicated to the favorite items for February, with the NIKKEs receiving favorite items being Moran, Zwei, Senti, and Privity, with their wallpapers in clear view for you to preview in the dev notes. And finally, on page 6, the overall goal for 2026 will be content, nearby features, and overall optimization, with a focus on non-daily grind features, with a closing out and thank you from Director Yu. First up on the docket on Monday the 26th, following the dev notes, is the newest event, Fatal Maid, with Velvet as the focus. Despite becoming a member of Made for You, Velvet still finds it difficult to fit in at the Maid Cafe. But then, a dark force emerges, setting its sights on the Maid Cafe. To protect it, Coco launches a secret operation. And lastly for the day, with the Snow White White Memory event ending, all of the rewards and memory images were unlocked, with 5 images featuring Red Hood, Scarlet, Rapunzel, Dorothy, and of course, Lilyweiss. And to close out the week, with Tuesday being the end of the Sin Editor event, we got some more specific kit information and the motion demonstration for Velvet in her new maid outfit. But, as I said before, a full breakdown will be next week with the full release of Fatal Maid. Reading through the dev notes is always a little bit of a hit or miss for some people, as they're left intentionally vague at times. But I personally feel very satisfied with the info, as of now at least, with a lot of new updates coming in February, and as a huge fan of Surface content already, it's a huge relief to hear that they have a plan for all the implementations and a rough outline of how long it will take to fully incorporate them before making Surface content available once again in the future. I also know that a lot of commanders are really hopeful that the trend of the Chinese servers acting as a test server for the global release remains true for the release of the 3D Outpost interactions, as more direct interactions with your squads has been something that has been desired since the very early days of NIKKE. But that's just one commander's thoughts. Did you like the dev notes? Are you excited for Fatal Maid and Velvet? Let us know at the central government down below, and make sure to like and subscribe so we can reach as many commanders as possible moving forward. But with that being said, I'm Commander Midwest. This has been a week in NIKKE, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you, thank you.